welcome back to Exploring Whiskeys. I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin, and today we're going to be doing a little, we're
Local.
going to do a Tennessee history lesson, I think. So we are going to be doing the Uncle Nearest 1884 release. We've already done the 1856, link that up in the corner. This is kind of a cool nod. So we went through a little bit of the history and with the original, the first one, but just to do a quick recap. So Nathan Green, who was referred to as Nearest, Uncle Nearest, was a former slave who was distilling in the Lynchburg area and kind of helped perfect the whole Lincoln County process.
Which is that sugar maple charcoal filtering.
Exactly, which is Lincoln County process is Tennessee whiskey.
Yep.
So he kind of helped, he ended up not only kind of perfecting the process, but he taught somebody.
Spearheaded one of the largest
distilleries in the world.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah, so he taught Jack Daniels how to distill that way. When
At
Jack
the
was
ripe age of 13.
yeah, grand old 13 years old is when he started doing his own distilling. This particular release, the 1884, is a nod to the very last time Uncle Nearest would have distilled his own whiskey and barreled it. That's
before he retired.
They think that's about when he retired. I'm not totally certain how great the records are around that, but
We're gonna go with it.
yeah, we're gonna go with it. So a lot of the interesting things related to this particular distillery and this company, they started in 2017. They were founded. They are minority and female owned. The CEO and all the descendants also own
A share of
a share or
stake in the company.
Are some of the executives in the company, and each one of these has been picked in relation to one of the great-great-great-grandkids or something along those lines of Uncle Nearest himself. So there's a lot of historic nod to Tennessee whiskey, the whole idea and process around Tennessee whiskey, but it's also relatively brand new, and a lot of people don't even know anything about Uncle Nearest himself or.
But I think if you go based on what we've read, the distillery itself is still relatively new. They've built the distillery. They have one warehouse. They're in the process of building a single barrel warehouse, a tasting room, and then a whole wing that's kind of the nod to really Tennessee history, like the whiskey, the music. So I think
the walking horse.
Yeah, that's the national or world walking horse capital. But apparently, this is one we need to go down and really check it out.
Once they open up, they are closed. I did check for tours, but they're based out of Shelbyville.
Shelbyville.
I was taught how to say it that way, not Shelbyville, Kentucky, which is where
Louisville.
Yeah, it's just below Louisville, but it's in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is maybe about an hour southeast
45
of
minutes-ish,
like Nashville-ish area. So
it'll be nice to go and learn a little bit more.
I'd be really interested to see what else they have. There apparently is an 1820
single barrel,
and that's their single barrel release. I've never seen it.
Nope.
It's kind of on their website. It is one of their phases is opening up a single barrel warehouse. So maybe it's not out yet. I don't know. We'll see.
They'll get there.
Yeah, they'll get there.
But this is definitely one I'm going to go down and check out.
Yeah.
And there's two other ones we can check out while we're down that way.
Down that direction, yeah.
Jack Daniels and George Dickel are in the proximity.
Which are obviously directly related to
the distilling process. That charcoal.
He taught Jack Daniels, and this is sourced from wheat.
Just think, what if he didn't?
Dickel. So
what if those two didn't cross paths?
Yeah, no Jack Daniels. Could you imagine that? No Jack Daniels. The world, leading sales, I think, for whiskey.
Lynchburg's a small town.
Yes, it is. And if they didn't have that big old distillery and grounds, there's not a whole heck of a lot on this bottle about this whiskey. Again,
given when it's launched
versus the fact that the press release says that this was about 7-year-old whiskey.
So Do the math.
Do the math.
It's 2021.
They didn't exist yet. They had to source this.
Which is fine. That's how a lot of
people start that way.
They found their flavor profile. I'm sure once they start distilling it, they're not going to.
Yeah, they're not going to change the recipe or any of that kind of stuff, and then it'll be all their own juice. Kind of light on the nose.
Yeah.
It's not a super strong nose.
You pick up some
for 93 proof.
But you pick up some ethanol though.
If you go in deep, honestly, what I smell is kind of like the corn. Mm-hmm. I definitely smell it's corn forward. They don't give you the mash bill. Tennessee whiskey kind of follows the same rules as bourbon, but technically they don't have to because they're not bourbon.
51%.
But they usually do over 51% corn. Yeah, I just kind of get like the sweet corn. Like
it's a lot of
kettle
corn all the way through. Yeah. Very, very sweet. No, I wouldn't say very sweet, but there's definitely sweet notes.
There's sweet notes. There is I'm going to say a little rye note. There's a little bit of a spice in there. Mm-hmm. And it's not a strong rye note, but there's a little bit of a rye note.
If there was, you'd pick it up.
And I'm not going to say a heavy oak note, but there's a little bit of that dryness that you get from a heavy oak note. I wonder if that's more just like a dry corn type profile coming through. No, I'm getting a little bit more of the, like I said, kettle corn, like buttered.
Yep.
Buttered kettle corn kind of nose.
Wow, man, it just dries up.
It does really dry up.
That whole kettle corn flavor.
Yeah, it's there. Knowing it's Dickel, it does not have that weird Dickel funk.
That malt.
Yeah, what that dusty nut note that they have sometimes. I'm not getting that. It just tastes like, this sounds bad, but it's not how I mean it. It kind of, like I'm getting a lot of like stale popcorn. Like the big bags of popcorn that have been popped like last month. That's kind of the note that I'm getting. But it comes across, it's fine. It comes across pretty good.
Well, this is from my bar cart, and I think the night I got it, I probably put a pretty significant dent in it. And then, as a couple of friends have come over, we took down the rest. But I think it's a good bottle.
It's a very good bottle.
And, that $45 to $50-ish range. I heard some good things about it, so I thought I'd
give it a shot.
Take a flyer on it. Yep. And I don't regret buying it. I would probably buy it again.
No, and 93 proof, a little nod to a Tennessee whiskey, pretty good, like solid all-around flavor profile.
I enjoyed the Dickel Bottle and Bond, and knowing that this is sourced and everything is trending that way.
Yep.
So far, out of a Tennessee whiskey, this is up there for me, the Dickel Bottle and Bond.
Yeah, that one's
the higher end Jack Daniel's stuff I really enjoy. The gold, was it the 20,
the Sinatra.
The Sinatra is hard to beat. But no, I think this is a pretty solid Tennessee whiskey.
Mm-hmm. We just had, I don't know, a couple of episodes ago, we did that, the Fugitives. Like the artisanal Tennessee whiskey.
Completely
nothing
different.
Like that.
Completely different.
That is so more green forward.
Yep.
This is
so very,
sweet.
very just straight up corn. This is sweet.
This is a sweet corn. Yeah. This is got a lot of really good solid notes to it. I mean, it's pretty light colored, which I think one point there was a rumor that they used barrels. Because officially
you can.
They can.
It's a whiskey.
Because it's a whiskey.
It's
not a bourbon. So they're not locked into that, and it's not bottled and bond. So they're not locked into that new oak. But I don't necessarily know if it's the fact that with as much oak as you're getting off of that. I think it's a new barrel. Yeah. I think their filter process pulled some of the color out. Because it's a light color for a bourbon.
Yeah.
If that's 7 years, that's pretty light.
Yeah, I would agree.
In Tennessee. Yeah, that's a pretty light whiskey. So,
is there a process that goes through the charcoal? Is it two or
twice?
Or is it
I think
3?
they're doing it twice.
Okay. I would be curious though if they were able to go back through Uncle Nearest notes, like what his mash bills were.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's again the really wanting to do the tour. How are they picking these? Are they picking these because it's Tennessee whiskey from Dickel, or like that kind of a note, or are they actually trying to go back and recreate some of the things? I have to assume he probably took pretty meticulous notes.
I would think he would, and I'm wondering if it, like Jack maybe the flavor profile of Jack Daniels, since he was kind of under Uncle Nearest's
Yeah,
wing.
maybe he had some-
maybe his flavor profile mash bill is kind of what
Maybe.
Jack Daniels is. I would imagine that Jack probably would have tweaked it just to kind of put his,
Do his own thing.
stamp on it. But I've been curious to see how their two
A little A/B testing.
would stack up side to side.
That'd be fun.
Uncle Nearest versus Jack Daniels. I enjoy it. For a Tennessee whiskey, I'm not a huge Tennessee whiskey. I prefer a Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I prefer that bite to a bourbon, that kind of that punch. I enjoy this one.
For saying it is double fill, like there's a mouthfeel there. There's a warmth coming through there. There's a, like the jaw kind of tightens up a little bit, like from the oak or something. There's something there that's like, oh yeah, this has got more complexity to it than Jack Daniels does.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Again, for me, Jack Daniels, I'm more now towards their higher end stuff.
Yep.
If with the old number 7, like I will throw it in with some Coke.
That we are going to go back to the OG number 7 and do it at some point soon.
I'm not opposed to it, but it's
No.
more of a.
It's a
mixer.
I haven't had it for so long. I want to go back and try to taste so many things that I haven't tasted for so long because I've now tasted so many more things.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to say that. I'm going to say if you have any interest in Tennessee whiskeys or you like Tennessee whiskeys, give that guy a shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good bottle. Really excited for them to start putting out their own juice. If they launched the distillery in 17, no, they launched the company in 17, they launched the distillery in 19.
Yep.
So you got to figure, this is supposed to be 7 years. They don't have to wait 7 years. They could wait maybe 5-ish years to put out their first bottle. So what's that, 2024?
Well, I would probably
range?
think for them, if they've already got the 1884, what was it, was it 26?
56.
50, the black
one.
56, the black label.
And then they're 20, which never seen.
So there may be just another number for them to get something out of the market while they wait for 7 years for this one.
Right.
So I would expect something to come out shortly.
I'm understanding that 56 is like 12 years. I don't think it's on the label, but I think it's a 12-year whiskey.
So that's even longer.
That's
so
even
they're going to
longer.
have to put
They
something.
got some time that they're going to.
They got some time, so I'm thinking they're probably going to put something else out.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And I hope so, because this is good.
Yeah,
The other bottle that we've already sampled is good.
yeah. I just got a bunch of apple.
Apple?
Yeah, I don't know why. It wasn't there before.
So we'll have to pay attention when they open back up.
Yeah,
The tasting room and go down.
When they open up, I
that
want to
whole
go down
Tennessee whiskey trail, we need
there.
to.
Yeah, we got to hit a couple of those up and ask some of those questions that we were pondering.
Yep. If you're not a fan of Tennessee whiskey and you want to dip your toe back in the water, this is definitely
way to go.
This is the way to go. I've enjoyed it. My bottle's almost gone. Probably gonna. Pretty good.
I don't think that bottle's going home with you.
No, it's probably not. We'll probably finish after the show, but I'll definitely buy another one. Once that place opens up, we're going to head down there.
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you joining this episode for the Uncle Nearest 1884 review. We definitely hope you enjoyed it. If you've had it, we'd love to hear your comments on the bottle. Good, bad, or indifferent. So, but if you did enjoy the episode, which we hope you did, we encourage you to swipe that like button at the bottom of the screen.
And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. You can hit the bell icon, get notified every time we put out a new episode. Leave a comment like Eric said. And thank you very much for watching.
See you next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.